YouTube, Rook here from Rook Geek, and it's my little channel on the interweb for all things geeky and cool. And today, guys, we're looking at another action figure review. We're looking at the Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Star-Lord figure. This, of course, is part of the Marvel Titus Collect and Connect figure wave that just came out fairly recently. And I figured what better way to do a really awesome action figure review with the new Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie that just came out in May 2017. So what we're going to do is go into a full breakdown segment. We're going to look at the packaging, the articulation, the accessories, and the paint, and conclude the video for final thoughts for you, the viewer, should you actually pick up the Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Star-Lord figure. Stay tuned, guys. We're going to go to breakdown. Okay, guys, we're looking at the Marvel Legends Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie featuring the Marvel Titus Collect and Connect figure series. So let's actually look at the packaging first before we do anything else. So this is Star-Lord fully in package. So I want you to see what he would look like in package as if you pulled him right off the peg at the actual store. Of course, it says Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 down here. It says Star-Lord at the very, very bottom. On the sides, you kind of got shots of Star-Lord here and over here as well. Now on the back of the figure, this is a really important part here. If you notice over here is where it has Marvel Titus, the actual Collect and Connect figure. If you look down here, this wave of figures, these are everything you need to actually build Titus. So we have, of course, Drax, we have Yondu, we have Vance Astro, Angela, Darkhawk, and Nova. And if you notice, Star-Lord over here, these figures here, these 6 figures, are what you need to actually build the Titus figure. The Star-Lord figure, the 7th figure, is not needed to actually construct this guy. So this guy is sort of like, he's an oddball. You don't really need him to actually build the actual figure itself. Very similar to Deadpool. I did my review for Deadpool. I'll put a link above here so you can take a look at that video review. I talked about Deadpool a lot. But that figure, very similar to Star-Lord, you don't need the figure to actually complete the actual Collect and Connect. So I think that's both good and bad. If you're actually wanting to actually build the Collect and Connect figure, you don't need this figure, so you don't have to buy it. So if you're like a purist and want to get the entire wave, of course you want the actual figure, but you don't need it to actually build Titus. You just need the other 6 figures here, minus Star-Lord. So it all depends on what you really want to do. Some people may want the Star-Lord figure because he's a really cool figure. They might like Star-Lord, but they might pass on saying, you know what, I just want the Marvel Titus figure. I just want to get the pieces to build the really cool Tiger guy. So we'll be back in a second with Star-Lord out of packaging. Okay, guys, we have the Star-Lord figure from the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 figure out of packaging. So the very first thing we always do is look at the actual paint and articulation. So let's actually look at the head sculpt first. Great rendition of Chris Pratt from the actual movie itself. Looks very similar to him. His little spots are maybe off a little bit, but it looks pretty spot on from what I'm seeing here. So let's actually look at the actual articulation if we go down the figure itself. The head on a full complete 360 ball joint, up and down movement. The arms a little hindering because of the material of the arms, what it's made out of, and the kind of the shoulders, what his jacket is. There is some give to it. They can go complete 360 in the arms. There is a double jointed elbow here, which I like a lot. The hands can spin 360, and there is a bend at the actual wrist itself on both hands and arms. There is a rocker, chest rocker. The jacket he has here is kind of pliable material. It opens up. He has a t-shirt underneath it, but I'm not entirely sure what it says. Maybe you can let me know in the comment section. I can't really make out what it actually says underneath the actual shirt, but it is very pliable, very good material. It's very stiff. It will open up, so there's some give to it, so I do like that a lot. If we go down to his waist, of course, you have these little black indentations that come off his hips. I'll kind of talk about that near the end of the video. I like them and I don't like them, and I'll explain the reason why. You can go to a split. The legs go all the way out. He does have a double jointed knee here, which I do like that a lot. And the actual calf can spin 360, and there is a thigh swivel as well, complete 360 movement as well. Double jointed knee, and the actual ankle, full rocker movement. You could break the ankle if you wanted to. So you can get him into a lot of really awesome poses. So let's actually move him out of the frame for a second here, because I want to bring in his accessories. And this is where it gets a little bit awkward, and I'll explain the reason why. Not with the head, but with the guns. So the head itself is the masked version of Star-Lord. This is very similar to what we see in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and Volume 2. If you want to actually swap his head out, very, very easy. It simply pops off. It has a very big extended ball joint. So you just simply push the head on and it will pop into place. So he will look very similar to this. I think he looks better with this head in my personal opinion. This is how I'm going to actually display the figure. I think it looks really good with that head. So let's move him back out of the shot, move the extra head away, and let's actually look at his accessories. His two pistols, these plasma pistols that he's known for in the Guardians movie. So they are identical pistols. There's no difference between pistol 1 and pistol 2. It's not like one is the left hand and one is the right hand. They look the same for what I'm seeing here. The paint looks the same, the sculpt looks the same. There's no difference between one gun and the other gun. It's not like one gun is bigger than the other either, from what I'm seeing here. But I think they look really, really nice. Now, here's the part that's very difficult. To put these guns in his hand took me about 5 minutes of prying and fidgeting to try to get the damn guns in his hand. It's not easy. The hands are very malleable and it wants to, I had to break the hands in to have him hold the guns right. And it's a bit tricky to do. So like I said, it took me about 5 minutes to actually get his hands opened up enough to put the pistols into his hands. But I think he looks really good with the actual pistols. Great amount of detail, like I said. The pistol popped out. But I think they look really amazing. And you can do some really cool poses with this figure. With the way he's designed, he has a lot of articulation. So I think he looks really, really cool. Now, you heard me talk about a couple minutes ago about these weird little things, these little nubs on his legs. These are kind of like holster points where you can actually put the weapon into. But for the love of me, I'm trying to see if these actual guns themselves, based on these little holes that you see on the actual, on the weapon itself, if they fit up to these slots. Neither this hole or this hole fits up with this hole, with this peg here. So I'm thinking the proper way to put this in place is to basically you put it in place and maybe turn it. So it would look very similar to this. That's the only thing I can think of to make it work. You kind of just have to like literally shove the gun into this point here to make the gun hold in place. That's the only way I can figure out if this actually works or not. As you see me kind of struggling with this, with putting the gun in place, it's not easy, and you actually have to kind of eyeball it. So I'm thinking something along this line is what I'm thinking here. I'll kind of move them in shot so you can see. So you kind of turn the guns to the side and make it work. That may be the right way, it may be the wrong way. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section if you've picked up this figure. Were you experiencing issues like this as well? Maybe I have a figure that's defective with the the little nubs on the legs should be actually bigger, but I don't know if that's correct or not. I do like this figure, don't get me wrong guys, I think it looks amazing, the articulation is awesome, but I don't know how to store the weapons properly, and I'm guessing of how this actually works. I mean, once you do it, it holds pretty well. So if you wanted to store them, something along this lines, you can actually do that as well. But I'm going to be storing him most likely with the guns in his hand. I think he looks a lot better, a lot cooler with the guns, him holding the actual weapons as opposed to him having them on his hips. I do think this figure does look amazing, and you see me kind of fumbling with the guns. Like I said, I spent a long time trying to get these guns into his hand. It was not easy at all, guys. So your mileage may vary. Maybe it is my figure. But with that being said, guys, let's go to final thoughts and wrap up this video. Okay guys, final thoughts on the Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie Star-Lord figure from the Marvel Titus Collect and Connect wave. I really like this figure. I think what they did was they took the actor, of course, Chris Pratt, who plays Star-Lord, and they transitioned him into an action figure. Are there some spots that are a little off? Yeah, but I can let that go. They did a really awesome job of making it look like the actual guy from the movie, in this case, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie. I think it's a dynamite figure. The figure looks proportionally correct, meaning he's not some overly big muscular guy. Star-Lord's not this huge jacked up guy. He's more of a slender, thin sort of hero. And I like how he looks. He looks perfect. Having double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. I like that effect. I like how the coat bends and warps, so there's some give to it, some flex. I like that a lot. Having the hot swapping of the heads where you can have either the masked version or unmasked version. I think you can pick whatever way you want your Star-Lord to look like. I like the customization. So I think they did a great job there. Good job, Marvel Legends. I think that was an awesome idea. More stuff like that. Keep that up. Now, would I actually recommend picking this figure up? It's a yes and no situation in this particular figure, and I'll tell you the reason why. If you don't care about the actual Collect and Connect figure, you can pick this figure up normally. You don't need to worry about building the actual figure itself. Very similar to the Deadpool figure that came out for the Deadpool wave. You didn't need actually Deadpool didn't need to be used for the Collect and Connect. It's very similar to this. You don't need this figure to build the Titus figure. I like how they give you the option of not needing a Collect and Connect piece. If you just like Star-Lord because he's a cool character, you can actually get this figure for that reason. You don't have to be lynched in or locked in to build the actual figure. So I like that aspect. The bad part is if you don't, if you want to actually build the actual Collect and Connect figure, you can pass on this figure. You don't need to buy it. So it's, it's buyer's preference. If you want Star-Lord, you can get him. If you don't want him, you don't have to get him. Of course, when I got my guy, I actually got him for an awesome deal at Walgreens. They had a huge sale at 75% off. That's right, guys. This is a $20 figure. I got it for $5. That's right, $5. I'll put a picture up over here of the actual, you can see a screenshot I took of actually got it on the shelf itself. So I'm really happy to get it for $5. I figured, you know what the hell, for $5 you can't go wrong with that. Normally $20, so 75% off. Awesome deal. I hope you liked this video review, of course, Marvel Legends Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 Star-Lord. Remember to click that like button. Always click subscribe at the bottom of the page. You can click Windows over here to watch more of my content. Take care, guys. I'll see you next video, and bye-bye.